Talk high school football, 4A, 3A, and 2A in Texas. We talk East Texas sports. We talk NFL, guy talk, movie, and booze. We also talk wrestling and so much more. So like and subscribe and check us out.
Hey, I mean, that was a good point.
I think we might start seeing some go back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 9 of the Texas Two-Seam podcast, part of Outdrink the Coverage on L4 Media. My name is Ryan Fox. Happy to be with you guys today for episode 9 of Texas Two-Seam. A lot to talk about today. All-star voting has started for the Rangers. A couple injury updates, roster moves that we'll talk about for the Rangers as well. But before we get to any of that, I would like to talk about our MLB lookback special that we had about 2 weeks ago now. We didn't have an episode last weekend because I was out of town, so I appreciate you guys' patience with us as well. Again, we are part of Outdrink the Coverage on L4 Media and presented by Car Motor Company in downtown Cleburne. If you need a classic or late model car, you can check out their inventory at www.txcar.com. That's www.txkar.com, or you can give them a call at 817-666-1111. Special thanks, as always, to Car Motor Company for their sponsorship of the show, and special that they're running as well. Next time you visit or call Car Motor Company, if you mention Texas Two-Seam, you will get $200 off any vehicle purchase. So they're running that special right now as well. So be sure to check out Car Motor Company in downtown Cleburne. They're located at 302 South Caddo in downtown Cleburne. So appreciate them as well. And want to talk about, of course, our MLB look back, where we looked back at the 1994-95 MLB strike. A lot of great feedback there. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I think I last checked, we had 11,000 views on that. So we really appreciate that. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun for me, just in the research about it, getting to know all these perspectives of both the front office and the players and the fans themselves, and just the results of that. After the strike, the attendance kind of dwindling down and everything. And actually, that's something that we'll talk about in a future look back as well. We have a couple look backs scheduled for later in the season. We'll probably have one around the All-Star break as well. But in August, we'll have kind of a follow-up look back in the events following the 94-95 MLB strike. We'll probably look at the steroid era and the home run chase, kind of the era that a lot of people considered, quote, saved baseball. So we'll talk about that one as well, the home run chase with, Mark McGwire and guys like that. So we'll look forward to that in the future. But with the 94-95 MLB strike, if you haven't checked it out yet, it is live on L4 Media's YouTube channel right here. So if you haven't checked it out already, please do so. It was a lot of fun to also get the perspective with Terry and Noe. It's special for that because I didn't live through the strike, so I didn't see it firsthand, but both of them did. So to get their perspectives of the MLB strike back in 94-95 was really cool to get their perspectives as well. It was a lot of fun, a really fun show, so go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. And as we mentioned just a couple minutes ago, all-star voting has begun, and you can go to rangers.com/vote to vote your favorite Rangers and get as many Rangers as we can, as the All-Star game will be played at their home field at Globe Life Field in Arlington. The Rangers currently on the ballot are Nathaniel Lowe, Marcus Semien, Josh Smith, Corey Seager, Jonah Heim, Evan Carter, Adolis Garcia, Leody Taveras, and on the designated hitter spot, Josh Young. Now, you're probably wondering why Josh Young is on the ballot. He is injured, as well as Evan Carter, but Josh Young is expected to be back from his injury prior to the All-Star game, which is incredible. He's actually, and we'll talk about it later on in the show, him and Josh Sborz actually started their rehab assignments on Sunday at AAA Round Rock, so we'll talk about that one as well. But again, you can go to rangers.com/vote and vote for your Texas Rangers players, and they are running a special right now. If you vote 5 times a day, you can enjoy 25% off tickets to 3 different series at Globe Life Field. The series against the Chicago White Sox, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the Blue Jays series. So if you vote 5 times a day for the Texas Rangers All-Star ballot, you'll get 25% off tickets to the White Sox, Pirates, and Blue Jays series, all at Globe Life Field. So if you haven't already, go vote for our Texas Rangers players at rangers.com/vote. Let's get as many Texas Rangers players to play at Globe Life Field as possible. So go ahead and do that if you haven't already. And again, I want to thank you again for tuning in to today's episode of Texas Two Seam. Been pretty busy the last couple weeks, of course, being out of town last weekend. And then, of course, this past Saturday, I had the really fun opportunity to go see one of my favorite country artists of all time, George Strait. Had a complete sellout at Kyle Field. It was the first sellout. It was the first concert, rather, at Kyle Field ever. And it broke the record for the largest outdoor concert attendance in American concert history. So I thought that was really cool. The official attendance at Kyle Field was 110,905 people. George Strait said on stage that it's the biggest crowd he's ever played in front of, and I can see that. He mentioned while he was on stage that the biggest crowd they played in front of before was at AT&T Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys, and they had an attendance of about 104,000 at that one. But Kyle Field has a little bit higher attendance capacity, and they filled almost 111,000 people in Kyle Field, and I feel very grateful that I was able to be part of that historic crowd and show as well. I got a little video that I'd like to show you guys from the concert. This is a little 10-second clip from the opening song. He opened with Stars on the Water. I can't remember what album that's from George Strait, but he opened with that song. And to preface this as well, when we walked into Kyle Field, they were handing out wristbands, and the wristbands, they glowed, right? So whenever the songs were playing, they had colors on our wristbands, and it was around the whole stadium, so you could see it was kind of just like a light show as well. So let me show you that real quick. This is from Saturday night at Kyle Field. And there it is right there. It was really fun. Of course, almost 111,000 people, easily the biggest crowd I've ever been a part of. And it's not even really close either. Almost 111,000 people. It was a great show. I mean, it's George Strait. Need I say more? It was a fantastic show. The Ace and the whole band, they killed it the whole time. And even the openers, I don't know much about the openers. I know a little bit about Parker McCollum. He played after Katie Offerman. Katie Offerman was the opener. I think she's usually the opener for Parker McCollum when he's on his headline tours. She was fine. It was a really good show. And then Parker McCollum, I don't know much about him as well. I know a couple of his songs, and he sang all the ones I knew. And it was cool for him. It was his birthday on Saturday when they played at Kyle Field, and he grew up in Conroe, probably about an hour from College Station. So he played, at all these bars like Hurricane Harry's and places like the Tap and places around College Station. He even said this cool quote. It's like, I think I'm the only person in history to play at the Tap, Hurricane Harry's, and Kyle Field. So that was pretty cool. He put on a good show. It was his birthday, and he announced that he'll be a father coming up in August. So good luck to Parker McCollum as well. And again, really great show by George Strait. Overall, great concert. Had a lot of fun. The encore was great as well. It was a lot of fun. So it was really cool to see that with George Strait, one of my favorite country artists of all time, one of the greatest musicians, period, of all time. No one has more number one hits than George Strait. He has 60. And he played a lot of them, trust me. So it was a really fun show. Glad I got to be there. And that's it. That's our intro for the show. We'll take a quick break and hear a word from our sponsor, Car Motor Company. And when we come back, we will give you the rundown of the last about a week and a half happenings of the Texas Rangers and preview their upcoming series against the New York Mets. They'll be starting that 3-game series at Globe Life Field against the Mets. And we'll talk about that one after the break. You're watching Texas 2 Seam, part of Outdrink the Coverage on L4 Media. Car Motor Company is your destination for classic and late model vehicles in north central Texas, located at 302 South Caddo in downtown Cleburne. They have everything you're looking for, from classic cars and trucks to late model cars and trucks, convertibles, and SUVs. If you'd like to call ahead of your visit, they can be reached at 817-666-1111. With inventory changing weekly, there's a little bit of everything at Car Motor Company. Be sure to visit the website www.txcar.com. That's www.txkar.com to keep up with their ever-changing inventory. They're open from 9 to 5:30 on Tuesday through Friday, and at 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock on Saturdays, closed Sunday and Monday. And also, if you mention this advertisement and Texas 2-Seam during your next visit to Car Motor Company, they'll give you $200 off any vehicle purchase. Stop by Car Motor Company while you shop and eat in historic downtown Cleburne. Again, you can give them a call at 817-666-1111 or visit their website at www.txcar.com. That's www.txkar.com. And welcome back to the Texas 2-Seam podcast, part of Outdrank the Coverage on L4 Media. My name is Ryan Fox. Happy to be with you guys once again. And as we talked about in the intro, once more, the All-Star voting has started for the across Major League Baseball, but for the Rangers, you can go to rangers.com/vote and vote for your Rangers players. And again, if you go ahead and do that, if you vote 5 times a day, you'll get 25% off tickets to the Rangers home series against the White Sox, Pirates, and the Blue Jays. So if you haven't done that already, go vote for the Rangers. Again, that's rangers.com/vote. And again, going into the Rangers, since we last talked about the Rangers about two weeks ago now, they have struggled a little bit. They've lost now 3 of their last 4 series. They lost 2 of 3 against Detroit at home. They lost 2 of 3 against San Francisco at home. But on their road series, they did get 2 of 3 on the road against the Los Angeles Dodgers, one of the top teams in baseball right now. Then they followed it up on that short little West Coast road trip. They had a 3-game series against Seattle, and they got swept. And it was kind of a really tough series. The Mariners are still first place in the AL West by I think they have an 8.5 game lead over the second place Rangers right now. And the Astros not too far behind the Rangers now, only a half game behind Texas, as they are 9 games behind Seattle. So they're right there creeping up on the Rangers. And it's kind of a tough deal with the Rangers offensively. At the beginning of the season, especially after the injuries with Josh Young and all that took over, the Rangers offense had kind of been inconsistent, but now they've really just hit a lull. They've been the production has not been there offensively. And again, they got swept by the Mariners. And then that third game on Sunday afternoon on Father's Day, when the Rangers, they lost 5-0 to the Mariners. And in that game, they only put up 2 hits total and struck out 9 times total. So a very poor day offensively for the Rangers, looking to bounce back, as well as a lot of these guys some of these guys that are coming back for the Rangers, hopefully very soon. We'll talk about that as well. But again, they still have key players like Corey Seager, like Marcus Semien and Nathaniel Lowe, guys that have been there and were huge, pillars for this Rangers offense of last year. That was one of the best in baseball, the top in the American League. But they're struggling so far in this first half of the season. Again, injuries have played no part of that. We've said that every episode this year so far. But they do start again this 3-game series at home against the New York Mets. It'll be an interleague home series against the Mets, who are also struggling. They have around the same record. I think the Rangers are at 33-38, and the Mets are at 33-39, or the same record as the Rangers. They're also struggling as well over there in the National League East. That has been run by Philadelphia all year. But again, the Phillies dropped 2 of 3 to the Orioles at Camden Yards over the weekend as well. Keep an eye on the Orioles, man, especially with how their season went last year, and they were coming up just short against a very hot, surging Rangers team in the playoffs last year. Keep an eye on them, man. That could be a World Series preview with the Orioles and Phillies, as the Orioles take 2 of 3 from the Phillies in Camden Yards over the weekend. But going back to the Rangers' upcoming home series against the New York Mets, it'll be a 3-game series, and the first 2 pitchers that the Rangers will use in the series are John Gray, who gets back from his injury. He's 2-2 with a sub-3 ERA, and then Michael Lorenzen coming in as well. He's 4-3, but also with a sub-3 ERA. So 2 very favorable pitching matchups for the Rangers in the first 2 games of the series. Now, Game 3 will be Andrew Heaney, who's at 2-8 with a sub-5 ERA. So he struggled to start the season as well. Hopefully, when some of these guys come back in the pitching rotation, they can kind of scoot Andrew Heaney back to a role that he thrived at last season, which came as kind of a long reliever role or like a quick starter in the bullpen, coming out of the bullpen in the latter half of last season, because he struggled as a starter so far this year. But the only good thing about it is that at least he stayed healthy. They've had an arm that they know they can somewhat trust, just because of the, not exactly their production, but more of that he's been there and he was, consistently there last year, didn't really deal with any injuries. Because, it's more of a placeholder kind of spot, just an arm that So he's there for now, but I think he's more comfortable in that long reliever or just bullpen role in general, and I think we saw that last season. So I think it's one of those cases where he sits at 2-8 as a starter, that the sooner he gets back into that relief role, the better. So we'll keep an eye on that one as well. But again, John Gray and Michael Lorenzen pitching for the Rangers in the first 2 games of the series could be winnable, but the offense has to catch up as well. As we mentioned before, only 2 hits and 9 total strikeouts in the series finale against the Mariners, which the Mariners completed their sweep of the Rangers. The Rangers now, again, still in second place, but only a half game in front of the Houston Astros, who go into a very winnable series against one of the worst teams in baseball, probably the worst team in the American League, in the Chicago White Sox. So, the Astros will probably do good in that series, and the Rangers, although this should be a winnable series, or at least a competitive series, against the New York Mets, who have also struggled in very similar ways to the Rangers. So we'll see that the first pitch for that one is tonight at 7:05. It'll be on Bally Sports Southwest and on the Rangers radio network as well. You'll hear Jared Sandler on the call as well. Jared Sandler, a friend of the show. We had him on episode 1. Probably look to have him on here in the near future as well. Probably have him on around the All-Star break, sort of as a mid-season review of what he thinks of this Rangers team so far, 2024. So look forward to that one as well. And we also have in the works another Texas Rangers Legends interview. We had Jim Sundberg on earlier in the season, and we have another one possibly lined up for probably early July. So keep an eye on that one as well. We'll keep you updated with that one and a couple of those as well. So we'll keep you updated on that one, both on here and on our social media platforms as well. Again, our social media platforms, both for L4 Media, Texas 2 Seam, and Outdrink the Coverage, are all down in the description below. Whether you're watching us on YouTube or you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, in the description will be all of our social media platforms. So keep an eye out for those as well. We'll keep you updated on those future Texas 2 Seam Rangers Legends interviews. And also, if you haven't checked out the Jim Sundberg interview, it's on this playlist. It's on your favorite podcast platform and on YouTube as well. So if you haven't checked out my interview with Rangers Hall of Famer Jim Sundberg, be sure to check that one out as well. But back to this Rangers series against the Mets. Again, the pitching matchups are favorable when it comes to the Rangers, but the offense does need to catch up. It's been very inconsistent as well. Both Marcus Semien and Corey Seager went 0 for 4 in yesterday's game. Not something you want to see from arguably your 2 best hitters in the lineup. But Wyatt Langford has been solid since his return from the hamstring injury as well. But we'll keep an eye out on that offense going into this Mets series, as well as it'll be huge for the Rangers to try to at least hold second place and try to stay as close to that American League wild card lineup as they can as well. And also the Mariners, again, they have a tough series going up against the AL Central leading Cleveland Guardians. which could help the Rangers scoot a little bit closer to that first place spot in the American League West. And then again, with the Astros going into this 3-game series against the Chicago White Sox, who have 19 wins, and we are halfway through June. Not looking good for the Rangers. They could very well end up, if the offense doesn't catch up, they could fall to third place in the AL West, being only in front of the Angels, who are 15 games under 500 as we speak right now. So we'll keep an eye out on that one as well. And want to it's kind of the preview for the Mets series as well, but want to look at the Rangers roster updates as well. Josh Young and Josh Sborz began their rehab assignments on Sunday afternoon on Father's Day at AAA Round Rock, the Express. Josh Young went 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored, so good sign there. Josh Young probably way ahead of schedule from his fractured wrist, I believe it was. It was a fracture in his hand that he will be coming back from as well. Josh Sborz, he went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 runs on 2 hits. Not exactly what you want to see from Josh Sborz right away, but again, it is his first appearance on rehab assignment, so he just got to get back in the groove of things on the mound. But Josh Young, from one appearance on his rehab assignment, almost looked like he didn't skip a beat. He's batting .412 right now, as he was when he was going when he got injured. It went 2 for 3, RBI and a run scored. And the sooner he gets back for this Rangers offense, the better, because I believe, although Corey Seager and Marcus Semien are there, Josh Young is the spark plug that this offense needs, especially with how much of a tear he was for this Rangers offense at the beginning of the season. And again, Josh Smith had been a very good placeholder for Josh Young in this injury. Again, Josh Smith, one of, if not the best utility players in all of baseball. But again, he has missed 3 straight games with hamstring and glute tightness. Hopefully that's all precautionary. I don't think Bruce Bochy and the Ranger staff are anticipating it to be a very long-term injury. It might be all preventative, but they're still keeping an eye on him, and they'll probably keep us all updated on the social media platforms for the Rangers as well, and we'll keep you updated whenever we hear stuff as well. Also, another player on rehab assignment for the Texas Rangers on the mound is Max Scherzer. He last pitched on Saturday for the Round Rock Express in their series against Tacoma, and he went 4 2/3 innings through 79 pitches, and he struck out eight batters in 4 2/3 innings. So very good sign as well for the Rangers, as well, as we're not too far along from getting Josh Young, Josh Sborz, and Max Scherzer back as well. Now, again, Max Scherzer could be kind of shaky because you never know. If he comes back healthy, how long can he stay healthy? And again, it's one of those things that it's day-to-day with Scherzer. He is aging. He's in the latter days of his Major League Baseball career. There's no argument there. But I think with how the Rangers pitching, especially in the starting rotation, has been fine. But I think Max Scherzer coming in there and filling in that third or fourth spot behind Nathan Eovaldi and John Gray and Michael Lorenzen, who's pitched well of late, and kind of sliding Dane Dunning into that 5th rotation spot, kind of / long reliever role, and solidifying Andrew Heaney's spot into the the bullpen as well. So that would be huge, just from if nothing else, a placeholder standpoint, just to have a veteran arm that can get you strikeouts and give you a chance to win every time he's on the mound. With Max Scherzer, he's done that his whole career, even though he's in the latter days of his career. It's going to be huge for the starting rotation and pitching staff in general, just to have a veteran presence like Max Scherzer on the bump for the Texas Rangers. And another acquisition on the mound for the Rangers in the offseason, Taylor Mahle. They acquired him from the Minnesota Twins. He's coming off his Tommy John surgery last season. He looking like he might be on the verge of a return as well. He threw his first live batting practice on June 12th, and he's currently on his week-long break before he throws 1 or 2 more BP sessions. And then following that, if both of those batting practice sessions, live bullpens, go well, then he should soon after that start his rehab assignment for the Rangers as well. And having Taylor Malley back and making his Rangers debut in the starting rotation, that'd be huge as well to have him in the starting rotation. And, again, you never know, but if this starting rotation can come to full strength when it comes to August and September, that'd be really huge. And I am talking about Jacob deGrom as well. He's coming off another very, Tommy John surgery. It's not his first one. He's dealt with the arm injury so well. But again, that's something that we've talked about on the show as well with the surge and Tommy John surgeries. Pitchers are just throwing a lot harder. You look at guys like Paul Skeens, all these young pitchers that are throwing, and they're throwing hard. Paul Skeens is consistently hitting triple digits as a starting pitcher. And that's, when it comes to the health of your arm, you never know how that can go, especially as a young player. But again, if deGrom is good to go in September and the Rangers are making a push for a wild card spot or a playoff spot, whatever the case is, it's going to be huge to have all these guys back. We don't know for sure if this Rangers team is ever going to be at full strength during this 2024 season. They haven't been at full strength all year, both with the pitching rotation and in the lineup as well. There's always someone injured, and that's baseball. You always have someone hurt. But with all these key players hurt, if perfect timing could be huge for the Rangers if all these guys come back at around the same time and they're all there at full strength to get a playoff push. That'll be huge for the Rangers. But that's something to keep an eye on as well. As for the near future, it's looking very good that Josh Young, Josh Sborz, and Max Scherzer could be back at the major league level for the Texas Rangers very, very soon. And hopefully these guys come back later as well with Malley, deGrom. But another guy that's gotten called up from AAA Round Rock is Cole Winn. Cole Winn, he pitched in April, and he had a phenomenal April. He's pitched all scoreless innings in 4 appearances in April, and then in May, it completely flip-flopped. He totally struggled and got sent back down, but he's been pitching well for AAA Round Rock over the past month or so, the past few weeks for sure. So he's getting called back up to the major league level, and if he can stay consistent like he was earlier in his first half of his appearances back in April, it'll be huge to have an arm like Cole Winn coming out of the bullpen for the Rangers as well. Also, the Rangers designate right-handed pitcher Jesus Tinoco for assignment. He player that's not really developed well for the Rangers. He's been DFA'd, and that also is a big part of Cole Winn being called back up as Tinoco has been designated for assignment. Again, as we talked about earlier on the show as well, Josh Smith has missed 3 straight games with hamstring and glute tightness. So again, injury bug swarming the Rangers so far in the 2024 season, but they are 5 games under 500 and holding second place in the American League West standings. Kind of want to look at the American League wild card standings as well and see where the Rangers kind of fit in that category as well. So the Rangers are currently out of the AL wild card. They're actually 6.5 games behind the wild card, so not where they want to be so far in the 2024 season. A lot of catching up to do, which again, I think will happen once they get a lot of these guys back offensively and they can start hitting a groove offensively. Now, the pitching overall, it hasn't been entirely consistent, but they've, especially lately, the pitching, especially the starting pitching, has done enough to have the Rangers win more games. It's just the offense that needs to catch up. Hopefully, all that will start coming together. But the Rangers, for now, kind of need to tread water. 6.5 games behind the wild card and 8.5 games behind the Mariners for first place in the American League West. Not where you want to be right now, but you got to start climbing back up and keep treading water. And that's another point we've talked about on the show as well, to whenever this team is as healthy as it's going to be in August and September, when all these teams are making their final playoff push, as long as they can tread water now and at least give themselves mathematically a chance to make a push to the playoffs later this season, it'll be huge as well. But the Rangers got to take it day by day for now with the injuries. And a good place to start would be this 3-game series, interleague series at home against the New York Mets. Again, John Gray will pitch on tonight, Monday evening, and then Tuesday evening will be Michael Lorenzen. Then Andrew Heaney will pitch on Wednesday against the New York Mets as well. So look forward to that series. Again, that series will be played on Bally Sports Southwest as well as on the Texas Rangers radio network with Eric Nadell, Matt Hicks, and Jared Sandler. So watch your Rangers that way or listen to them that way. And we appreciate you for tuning in to episode 9 of the Texas Two Scene podcast. One more time, we are presented by Car Motor Company in downtown Cleveland. And again, please be sure to go to rangers.com/vote and vote for your favorite Texas Rangers players. Again, the Rangers on the ballot for the All-Star game in Arlington are Nathaniel Lowe, Marcus Semien, Josh Smith, Corey Seager, Jonah Heim, Evan Carter, Adolis Garcia, Leody Taveras, and Josh Young in the designated hitter role for the Texas Rangers as well. So be sure to go vote for your Rangers. And again, if you vote 5 times a day, you'll get 25% off tickets to the Rangers home series, all against the White Sox, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and as well as the Toronto Blue Jays. So again, I want to give you one more thanks for tuning in to episode 9 of the Texas Two Scene podcast. I had a lot to talk about today. And again, if you haven't checked out our MLB Outdrink the Coverage baseball look back on the 1994-1995 MLB strike, it is on L4 Media Company's YouTube channel. So if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, switch over to YouTube and you can find our Outdrink the Coverage baseball look back on the 94-95 MLB strike. Be sure to follow all of our Texas Two Scene, Outdrink the Coverage, and L4 Media YouTube channels in the links below. We are all on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the likes, on TikTok as well. So follow all of our pages in the description below. Also, be sure to follow the Texas Rangers Fans Only Facebook page. That link is also in the description below. Whether you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform or on YouTube, the Texas Rangers Fans Only Facebook page link is down below as well. Again, one more shout out to our sponsor, Car Motor Company in downtown Cleveland. And thank you once again for tuning in to episode 9 of the Texas Two Scene podcast. We will talk to you